actually scale up and often even sell more tickets when it's a hybrid one. So that's why some of these tech events that I'm attending also this week and next month, they're catering over 200,000 people, and the cheapest tickets are $20, and the VIP tickets are over $1,000 for the hybrid, the virtual version of it. So not even being live on site. So if you can imagine, I mean, 100,000 or 200,000 people paying €1,000 or even €20. I mean, it is a highly lucrative model if you get it working. And so if the speakers are interesting and the platform is efficient, you can easily gain back that investment. That's for sure. Especially for more established events that, the Barcelona Mobile Congress that was canceled last year, or now the largest construction events, the Big Five, which is 80,000 people in Dubai, or even the CED, which is the supposedly the largest conference in the world, which is 100,000 people on site. But then when these are going now virtual, even more people can attend. So I'm a fan of the hybrid version of the events, and we've had hybrid for a long time already. It's just now during this year that the digitalization has really become a norm. But yeah, I mean, the tools were there 10 years ago already.
Exactly. I think that the challenge, even with my supplier in Hilton, is that they are fully booked in October, and we need to actually schedule even earlier than I had done the events that I'm going to have in October, because it's anyway Oktoberfest. So I'm pretty excited to look at what Visualizer Visit can do for us in these times. I have been letting the supplier know that if we have a Visualizer Visit of their property, we could probably encourage delegates on a non-guaranteed booking to 100% show up. And I think that's the beauty of Visualizer Visit. We are able to show to our delegates or association members that this is safe and that we have hygienic protocols in place.
That's correct. The hygiene protocols are some of those informations that sometimes it's kind of pain to get the information. You have to go and specifically ask for it or search for it. So that's what I like about this virtual site visit that we use here, the Visualizer Visit platform, because it has also that key information. This is the Institute of Engineering and Technology in London. It's one of our favorite properties that we discovered in the past year. And here you can see the dedicated information, how the property itself has prepared for the live events. They have the fresh air throughout the day. They are, doing the, opening windows in the private balconies and so forth. And they're giving us extra space. So all of these requirements that we have. And I just recently went through the protocols that our industry alliances, the Event Institute Alliance and the PCMA, what they recommend for hybrid events and live events as the safety protocols. And it is interesting to see how majority, they are talking about the pre-event questionnaire for organizers. I mean, for organizers to send to the attendees. So then, first of all, attendees would need to let the organizers know if they had the vaccination, where they're coming from, how long they're going to stay, and all of that kind of information. So how to facilitate this one can be also a bit of a pain point, but then there's technology for that too. So I think we have upskilled ourselves with such a vast amount of tools and apps that will make all the organization easier for events.
I think so. We have executive assistants and meeting planners from the UK tuning in at the moment, and we're so excited to have you back. I mean, a lot of our colleagues and associates in Northern Europe are really on their feet. Some of them were, of course, expanding their business ventures, but at the same time, they are still meeting planners. And nowadays, our EMEA head office in the UK are very much on their feet. We have winter warmer wool kits. send to our clients regularly. And let's say in this visualizer visit that Anna is showing is one of our favorite properties from last summer. So we really want to be on our feet and we want to have you back with us.
Oh, definitely. And the signage, as you see here, is one of those, again, recommended ways of communicating with the attendees, also beforehand. And I think handing over masks is an important way of also, ensuring that everybody is compliant to what the regulations are. So here you see the screens page. So what we're now looking at through virtual site visits is how many areas, or where can we place those banners and the signage and information. And like here we can see also we are limiting the movement of and directing the movement of delegates as they're arriving, so that we can get them one way instead of them going back and forth in the same space, creating this really good flow of attendees.
Exactly.
And here we see some art as well.
Yeah. I would say that it's quite ideal that twice in a week, you deal with your clients, you show them their favorite locations, destinations, even a citywide event in planning. And like I build my relationship through that, and appreciating all the suppliers that we have met for the last 2 years in my case. So for example, the IEE is a STEM look venue, and I think in Finland, where we have a lot of scientists, this is not going to go out of fashion. We're always going to look out for venues that cater to scientists and researchers and engineers, such as this one you're showing at the moment.
Oh, we will also see more of those reasons why this will never go out as a perfect location, because like in real estate, you can't really change the location of that building. We can do the digital twin, scan it, and we can share it in a hybrid environment, in virtual events. But when you're talking about the physical event where we all want to return to, this location is a prime place in London, and you will shortly see why. But first, we have a video here, so let's just look a little bit of the ambience and what we have in this property. And there is no sound, in case you're wondering.
Well, we can at least introduce then. This is the beauty of visualizer visit. If there is no sound, you can add sound by yourself, and you can emphasize the technical prowess of the location. You can really emphasize according to your client needs. And this one was, I remember, used to be a medical facility where medical students can look in what's happening in that room.
The surgeons, yes, a room where you had the theater for the surgeons, yes.
Yeah, and it's like 100-year-old property, but very refurbished and modernized.
Oh, I have to say 150th anniversary was last year.
Exactly. And we are working on getting some of their sister properties in the UK, because they are not just located in London, but some parts of the UK. So if we have our talented meeting planners here in the UK, you may suggest to be our co-host for the next venues of IET. That will be really special. And we are working to getting them to present with us.
And now we're getting to our favorite room right here. So we're going to see in bit more detail soon in the visualizer. We're using multimedia platforms, so you can see in the video how amazing this library room is. But also, if you look out at the windows, which we're going to see shortly, I mean, this is phenomenal. I'm still holding back, telling where exactly it is, so you will recognize it.
True. I think we have associations with memberships of 10,000 people, and I think they're still holding online events. I think what we can do is really present to them and make sure they have something until 2025, because I know that the future is still there for us.
Oh, definitely. And that's why we are looking at the extremely high-end and fully AV equipped rooms like these ones. So one of the reasons why it's a favorite is that for hybrid, those that can make it to London and on site will truly appreciate the views and also the facilities that this property provides. And those that are tuning in as maybe keynote speakers from USA but not traveling on site, so hybrid model, again, we have a phenomenal number of screens and high speed, internet. I mean, this is just a fantastic location for current needs that we are looking at. So we can look at the capacity charts just to highlight, the maximum capacities that this property has. And because U-shape and the classroom or theater tends to be the safest COVID social distancing setups, that's why we're now looking at the numbers here. And as you can see, on a normal day, hopefully next year, we could have the 450 individuals there. However, because now we are looking at a quarter of that number as a safety measures, sometimes half, it depends on the country. I would say that we can fit somewhere around 150 to max 200 people in Kelvin Lecture Theatre. So
as you know, I love figures, but since
yes.
I'm a woman of a certain age, would you be able in Visualizer Visit to zoom on those numbers?
Oh, I mean, I can zoom in, but at the same time,
exactly what I need, just to show the facility of our Visualizer Visit, that you can zoom in and out and make sure that your clients are able to see what they want to see. Sometimes, if we're like 40 years old plus, we might not be able to see everything. And so this is perfect. Thank you so much for doing that.
Sure, and as you can see, throughout the whole presentation and on Visualizer platform, when you have this link for yourself, we can put it in the chat. You're able to zoom in and out like I'm doing right now. So we can go as close as we need. Perfect. So let's start from the Kelvin Lecture Theatre. And as we know, Kelvin is the famous professor, but his name is also famous for the temperature aspect of measuring temperature. And here we have the surgeon's room that we saw in the video. And you had a comment earlier about these stickers. So can you explain to us what's happening here?
Great. So these stickers are really physical manifestation of social distancing. Ideally, we may also be able to add stickers on social distancing, meaning 5 people apart or 3 people apart, with digital drawings. But in this case, people at IET managed to put stickers on the chairs to make sure that they are event ready at the moment, even during the lockdown is not lifted yet in the UK. So with the stickers, we are able to see where the delegate should be seated. Is that so, Anna?
Exactly, and we saw from the safety capacity chart that 82 was the number actually that they're allowing into this space instead of the 451 plus 6 that they normally accommodate. And what else we can see in this 360 is also exactly where our speakers and the intercom is located, because what's unique about this space is that there's also sound that you can connect directly to the next rooms, or then you can circulate the sound directly, obviously, from your hybrid event and vice versa. So it catches the sound from the stage here, so you don't have to set up any additional equipment. So again, hybrid ready, virtual ready if you want to use it as a studio, of course. And you can see the screen as well very easily here. And then you have the speaker podium. And again, the microphone is there, but you can always change that if you don't like the design. And then we have the interpreters box, which we can now use for hybrid and virtual event studios. But there it is up, you can see the exact location. And then we have this fantastic way of maybe honoring the VIP guests or C-level guests, having them on a balcony. And the design itself with those wooden details brings a lot of prestigious ambience to this space. And yet it's very modern, as you can see from all these spotlights.
Yeah, what we learned from our co-host and I from IET is that they even have their own TV studio where you can record your corporate meetings, your C-level executive meetings right in this very venue. So a lot of our corporates nowadays are, let's say, scrambling to look for the perfect location without needing to spend a lot of money on the resources. And I think venues like IET are able to provide that, and they are fine tuning their offering, making sure that we understand what they have, and just letting everyone know that they are event ready during these times.
Definitely. And now when the budget may be tight for some organizations, choosing venues that have incorporated the AV and, like you said, the studio on site makes it more cost effective. Because if you're building a studio to a blank space, is more than 5,000-6,000 at least. Normally 10,000 to build a full-on equipped studio with the tech people. But then if you're hiring one, it's from 4,000 and below to really hire a space. I mean, those are kind of like the market rates at the moment. But if you're lucky to find something below 1,000 euros, yes, then definitely that's a good bargain for a studio space. But here it is. Also, that you can see the embedded lights that you can change the colors. Again, don't have to bring any additional lighting. Yeah, it's making it extremely attractive space for us.
I know, and I think you have just visited a polytechnic here in Helsinki, and I think we will notice that a lot of talent today are focused on getting the hybrid events on hand, meaning that experts on sound system, on acoustics, on lighting, and we really need to have those people in our fast speed dial to make sure that we will have effective and impactful events at the moment.
Oh, definitely. And as you said, I just visited the Polytechnic, and they may call themselves also a university in some setting. But when comparing this, I would say, academic venues, we do find commonly that they are very well, equipped for speech, for hybrid, for virtual events, because there's a generally lectures every day there. So the setting is ready for us. And I mean, this can be challenging for hotels to accommodate because they have more varied use, as in, sometimes they have weddings, sometimes they have, birthday parties or so forth. So they can't hold a similar stage or AV equipment there as these academic venues that we're looking at here.
It's true. I think that event ready locations are more desirable than, let's say, setting up from scratch everything that we need for an effective C-level event. Even if it's 20 executives you have in one room, you have to make sure that the live streaming works. And of course, in the events industry, we have had this technology a long time ago, but now we can only appreciate them more as we are on the second year of the situation we are in at the moment.
Oh, definitely. And we can appreciate the fact that this venue, IET, has gone extra length to provide us also social distancing images. Like we can see here, the U shape has been set up exactly how we can use it today. Also, UK is getting ready for releasing the events industry in around June, and they are looking at 10,000 people events this summer. So because the COVID vaccination speed has been rapid enough to accommodate, I would say, the herd immunity, 70%. So they are aiming for live events, and that's why we know that we can start booking these spaces. We can start booking them for larger number of participants, not necessarily international, because that's another question. Is as Tokyo Olympic Committee has just revealed that they are not inviting any live attendees, even though the event goes ahead. So same way, I'm talking about live attendees from international, across the international borders. So for domestic events, these are fantastic.
as we are MICE professionals, it's also important, Anna, to know the history of the venue. In this case, this is what we call the, was it the Marie Curie room, or the Maxwell Library?
Maxwell Libraries.
Um, and so, like when I'm selecting a venue for my delegates, it has to be that the delegates are excited to be there, that it's related to the topic they're going to, delve into. And I think a lot of our audience in Northern Europe understand that there's a lot of historical venues right here in Europe.
Definitely. And what I do like about this visualizer is that also the venue manager and the team has understood how important it is to include all of their existing marketing material on the same visualizer. Because what you have here is the PDF that we often receive by email, which, as you can see, the comparison, we have the PDF on visualizer. So we have the option of going through this written data about the Maxwell library, as we mentioned right here. I can zoom in, as we talked about, just a second. And then it's actually as slow as it is with the PDF, isn't it? This is exactly what the only PDF causes.
Well,
no, what I'm meaning is that if we had only PDF, this is how it would be. But luckily, we have the visualizer. So that sits on that visualizer, and we don't have the same pain as I have. I was just trying to bring the right picture on, but we can just click and see the picture, so we don't really need to go to that PDF. And that provides us extra text and information if we need it to understand the background. But now we get to that location, there's a little peak. I don't know if anyone still is able to recognize it. But let's keep it as a secret until
famous London skyline.
Yes, it's London. We'll get to it soon. And now, yes, live event. How much are we missing this scene?
True. Just lately, just today, or was it yesterday, our passengers on our public transportation have been required to wear a mask. And it's very interesting that it's only yesterday that they are required before boarding the train. And I can see that in the old days, we're all in the same place without masks. But I think it has been a while in the UK where they are actually required to wear masks.
I mean, for a year, for sure. And also being quarantined, I mean, they have curfews, how long they can be out, until 9 o'clock, also in Netherlands and Germany. So very strict. And like you said, you can see a lot of people rubbing their nose or face in this picture. I mean, there's one doing the hair, there's one there in the middle, and there's one in the back over there. So our habits have changed. I don't think we really want to touch our face at the moment.
In this case, Anna, I would say that a lot of venues are presenting through visualizer visit the locations where they can really get the hand disinfectant. Even the provision of face masks. I attended in an event in Tripla, Sokos, where the face masks are conveniently located in 4 spots of the room. And these are the things we can achieve through visualizer visit, encircling in the exact spot where the attendee can get a face mask and a disinfectant. Those very important things that we need to do before getting on a face-to-face meeting.
Yes, exactly. And that was what I was getting to, is that our habits, as in habitual behavior, how we move even, has changed, because we're more careful about the distance between people, but also just keeping our hands away from our face is one way of protecting, because if you're rubbing your eye or whatever nose, there's a higher chance of this infecting yourself. So here we have amazing space. We talked about this one. It's the whole category, like a whole array of historical innovations. I mean, we can even spot spoon, knife, and fork. We have the first Nokia mobile phone here. I mean, that's actually not the first one. First one was like a briefcase, but that's from the 90s anyway. That one, the brick, as we called it. The brick itself is something I remember from my childhood, is that when people were walking around with this kind of mobile phone, others, as in just strangers, would be like shouting behind you, like, "Hey, say hi from me," you know, and like, because you know, not that many people had mobile phones, so he would be like, "Oh, is that person talking to themselves?" And then I don't think we had so much, you know, problem when they had these big ones that people would think, "Oh, is it a loony?" But when the mobile phone started to get smaller, there was that brief crossing over where people, everybody didn't have mobile phones, but some did, and they were still like, "Ah, you know, are they talking to themselves because they were getting smaller?"
From her hotel co-host of IET, we detected that this is the place where you actually can have this chit chat that you just did with me, Anna, where delegates can stand and appreciate what's on the wall and maybe have the icebreaker. They call it the icebreaker because what else can you do when you go to the IET venue and you're waiting for the convention or the conference to start? And you stare at the wall, and this is a great wall to stare at.
Oh, I completely agree. And what you have here, I think, you know, some of the attendees might even recognize or have had those at their homes even. There's radio, there's the typewriter, and you have the CD, you know, we all remember those ones. I mean, and it's interesting how fast things change as well, because, I mean, it's only been, what, 20 years, and suddenly these look very historical.
So the host for this IET venue was very active in the summer, and I believe that if you invite them to co-host with you for your association event, they will be happy to use Visualizer Visit with you and making sure that if you have an event for 2022, you will already pencil that in their calendar. And we do agree with Anna that once maybe the lockdown is lifted or there will be more vaccinations, already we are witnessing a lot of flights being booked from the UK to travel globally. And so we don't want to be the one that are missing out on this kind of like onslaught of events happening at the same time.
Oh yes, it's gonna be massive mayhem. And as you have noticed in the news, there's a lot of prime ministers and, you know, individuals on TV and social media also telling people to not to book Easter holidays or not to travel abroad, because everybody's kind of on their heels getting ready, so that we don't cause any new stir or surge in the pandemic. And it's of course for us very important that we get to go and see our loved ones and family and friends, you know, in those other countries. But yeah, I hope that at least, you know, some kind of sensibility will take place when the borders open.
I'm really glad that you are selecting this venue to show, Anna, because today we really appreciate the importance of the expertise of the event to stage a hybrid, you know, digital event that can gather not just 100 people on site, but maybe 1,000 online as well, and even
Yes.
10,000. And so my goal is for me to present to my association these venues that are useful in the long run. And I think it's great for Visualizer Visit that to allow meeting planners to use this Visualizer Visit whenever they can with the hotel
Yes.
co-host.
And now uh, the highlight. So we did a little build up for location, and I hope you can now recognize where we are.
Yeah, isn't this the London skyline again? I think we have a
Oh,
bridge
you're too much, you
today.
know, you're not giving anything away. So yes, we have the river Thames, and not only that, I mean, okay, so we can see all the landmarks. So we have the famous bank district, you know, the financial district. We also have, if we turn around, you know, you have the London Eye, and then it carries on to Buckingham Palace, and well, you can see the Westminster here. So this address is also very prestige. So it's a Savoy place, and it's surrounded by some of the, you know, nicest hotels as well. There's the Savoy Hotel right next door. So that's a recommended venue or accommodation for those that attend here, of course. And then across the bridge, you know, you have more of the exciting areas of Greenwich as well, like we talked about the financial district there. And Greenwich is, of course, famous for the the Greenwich time zone. So the, as we call the 0 hour, basically that's the place where the line goes.
I have a question, Anna. How easy it is for a meeting planner to know that a visualizer visit has been done in a certain property? I think that if I could just ask directly the venue or the hotel, do you have a visualizer visit? Will that work? And if they don't, will they be able to request from visualizer a cooperation in a way that I can present the venue to my clients early on? Even
yes. So we covered this couple times on our webinars, and it's great that you ask about it, Sheila, because we have also launched a campaign where all the meeting planners, you can really request a venue virtual site visit for your use for free. So this is something that, it's very unique for Visualizer, is that the campaign that is taking place is to help the industry itself to also, recover. And one way to recover is to get more attention, more meeting planners to book these venues, for forward. We're looking at 12 to 20 more months, for our events. The lead up time can be quite a long time as well. So that's why Visualizer has opened up this platform for everyone. And yes, so if you just send visualizervisit.com in the contact details your request on which venue you would want to present to your clients, whether you need it for your own event, to market your event, or plan your event, Visualizer is able to accommodate that, and we will then contact the venue and try to build that visualizer for you ASAP. So that way you get to then use the capacity charge floor plans, you get to use these images for your event marketing on your website. You can also add this. I'm actually going to show how. So here you find that website HTML code. So just by copy pasting this one and placing it on your event website, you will get this specific image. And as you can see, as I'm zooming it, so you can take closer, pictures, like images like this, and then you just copy paste again that HTML code, so it shows exactly what you see on the right hand side. Or if you need to send it to your colleagues, before the board meeting, when you are discussing about the event, whether you want to send the floor plan, you can also do that from this link the same way. So that's one of the reasons why venue finders and meeting planners would really benefit from actually using this service and the campaign that Visualizer has.
I think the word in American is nifty, and I think that indeed it gives me a sense of security to be able to point out to my association delegates that here you can have the exit, the entrance, and you can move from A to B without bumping into anyone unnecessarily. And digitally you could use also, if there are corporates that do not allow Zoom meetings, there you can reach the clients by Teams, Microsoft Teams, or Skype, or any other platform, because this visualizer visit is not exclusive to any platform.
That's correct. So all multimedia can be implemented on this platform. So you can add all of your existing material, whether it's video or 360 panorama or so. And what's really beautiful about, again, about the IET one, is that they have established the safety protocol also for the customer flow. And I like this. This is one of the best practices. So you have a lecture theater, and you can see here on the right hand side, looking at the stage, that this is the direction that the delegates should not be going to as they're leaving. And in the green, they have placed that signage here also on the screen and as stickers, that this is the way that they should exit the space. So I think this is beautiful, how these best practices are being displayed and demonstrated in this visualizer.
I agree. I think as meeting planners, it's really our role to make sure that we are on top of things. And although we love our association delegates probably, or our corporates, they really need more guidance and even a boost for them to meet face to face. And this is just one way visually of attracting them to make that booking that is crucial for the next few months or years even.
Definitely. So we can see also the stickers between the speakers here, and then the hygiene or the water bottles that you can put here, you know, the hand hygiene you can also place there. We can specifically plan, you know, how the AV or equipment, maybe we want some extra lights there, so we can see the electricity plug-in spots. You know, I mean, this is such a detailed visualizer. You can see the camera that records also the audience, but also what's happening here. There's actually extra spotlights and extra video, I think somewhere in the back here, right there. So, I mean, this is, you know, a very informative presentation, I would say, you know, on this visualizer platform. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen as comprehensive tool to plan an event as visualizer, because when, you know, when you usually request from the hotel or from the theater, or whether it's a museum, unusual venue or academic venue, any information for your event, they send you only this.
Right. Yes.
And there's a big difference, you know, planning the event with this PDF or with this.
I agree. I have been to a few events in the last week, and I feel like a lot of the hotels and venues can benefit from a visualizer visit. It's interactive, it's digital, it's visual, and moving images are certainly more exciting than static ones, as we know. And I think that we can guide thoroughly our guests, our audience, in highlighting which ones they should focus on and not be distracted with other things that are in a static image.
Definitely. I mean, you get also examples from previous lectures, keynote speakers, and again, you know, you see exactly where the embedded screens are. So that helps with estimating the budget for the event as well at the planning stage. And then we have catering information on this one as well. So there's all of that, and you can see the daylight, the ceiling height, if there's anything that you can hang from the ceiling,
Yeah,
the
it's
speakers.
definitely
Yeah,
amazing to see that, you know, because the ceiling height is so important to Nordic people because they are tall, they need to be measured in the exact feet and meters. And so in this case, you could put in the info what exactly is the height of the ceiling without needing to go back and forth. And even what's going to be on the screen, whether it's your brand that will be there or your suppliers, and you can identify already. You can also customize this presentation to already show the brand that's on the screen, what you want to be on the TV, and it can be changed dynamically with the visualizer visit through their team or by yourself.
that's correct. I laughed at the, you know, the reasons why you ask from a venue how high the ceiling is because your delegate's going to be so tall. I mean, this applies to Dutch as well, doesn't it?
Sure, exactly.
Yeah.
You might understand that.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, but definitely. I mean, so we have a good example here to demonstrate the ceiling height and how your banners and all the materials can also fit into the space. And this is an exhibition for women in tech. So you talked about the STEM. So women in STEM and women, as you can see in this first banner here, it says women engineers. You know, how people have been shocked, you know, that there's such a, you know, desire for women to enter the masculine complacency. But then, well, these are the old school thoughts. Now we have the trailblazers. You know, we still have the trailblazers going in our industry, in the tech industry, and it's beautiful to see how equal the events industry, you know, is.
And by the way, Anna, as meeting planner, you can organize your presentation to combine with the hotel where the guest will be accommodated. So across the street is probably a Savoy hotel or something similar.
Yes.
And I noticed that with one visualizer visit, you can combine the three venues that your delegates will be going into.
Definitely. And I mean, we saw from this actually location, Savoy is right next door. I mean, literally, when we go on the rooftop, that building that you see is Savoy Hotel. And then again, you can enjoy the sunny days in London on the balcony, having a welcoming reception or maybe a cocktail reception after the the gala dinner. I mean, before the gala dinner and after the seminar or congress. And here you see some of those half circle layouts, but I mean, this is a classroom version from IET. So these are the tables they are using, which is normally a gala dinner setup. I mean, they're using the half of that gala dinner table, which is quite interesting, I would say.
I would say the same thing. I think in the future, the meeting planner or a DMC or a tour operator will just make a customized visualizer visit, highlighting properties that they're going to visit that day. And the branding will be on visualizer visit, making sure that the audience, the clients don't forget that this is this ABC DMC presenting to them. And the suppliers will just all be in one visualizer visit.
That's right. I mean, we will be able to place the branding on the screens that you see on Visualizer, like you mentioned. That's the augmented Visualizer that is in the production. So here, for example, you could run video or even our faces at the same time we're doing the Visualizer. So yes, these are very much available even now for venues that, want to do a bit more interactive, displaying of their capacity and the design. And here we have a cocktail reception, as we talked about earlier, just overlooking that amazing view.
It's true. And then, of course, during the proposal stage, we can organize a visualizer visit of properties that have open air venues, meaning that it doesn't need to be one brand. It can be IET in combination with a hotel across the street that has open air, and that would be very suitable during COVID times, meaning fresh air, skyline, and everything that we feel must be emphasized to the clients at this time.
Oh yes, I mean, I think the opportunities and the options are unlimited. We can just use our imagination, and I mean, I love this location itself. I've been to Oxo Tower for dinner. They have a lovely, well, they had and will have a lovely, like a pianist, playing at the rooftop. So you can visit some interesting locations or even take the delegates, into these. Tate Modern is walking distance. So definitely, an option there as well.
I would say, I think that the stage of my client signing a contract and process thinking of whether it's safe is closer towards signing the contract if I present these images, meaning that, if you plan now, there's very flexible contracting right now with venues, then we could just close the dates and make sure that we are flexible in the future.
That's right. And this is really providing the wow effect. Like we had a few weeks ago, the Dubai, the Hub Tour Palace, and, just showing the images, in this full screen version, as we are seeing here, it just provides that extra, I would say, impact to make a decision that, yes, this is the right venue for our event. Our delegates will absolutely love, having this kind of experience, and just knowing that this property is available for booking, is the starting point.
And just to inspire our meeting planners who are tuning in, of course, Hilton Dubai was really one of our favorite as well, and it's going to be our favorite as we go towards World Expo. The most inspiring thing that happened with them is that once the lockdown was over, they had 25 bookings for an event on the same day. So you can imagine if you're a meeting planner and you don't have that booking closed yet, then you'll be in a little trouble. So with Visualizer Visit, we can plan and make that booking right for you, not to struggle with 25 others.
You're so right, Sheila. There's going to be such a flux of bookings, when the regulations, just lift. So yeah, we can do the preliminary bookings, place that, space on hold, and then, start looking at all these details like the floor plans and capacity charge to plan that event. And then we can place the beautiful images that we saw earlier just by linking this URL, or this HTML code. And then we can share it to 181 locations as well directly from here. So if you want to send that online link of visualizer. Yeah, so we have a comprehensive tool for us. And we've been using this already a couple of years. So for us, it's very familiar. It's just that we're adding new venues. So those that are tuning in now, if you are interested having a visualizer for yourself, or maybe you are venue finder or meeting planner and you know a favorite venue that doesn't have a virtual site visit, contact us or visualizervisit.com and you will be able to get one for free.
That's right, Anna. We're here for everyone to help, and I hope Stronger Together is not just a hashtag, but the real concept to live by. So thank you so much for your 45 minutes today.
Yeah, thank you everyone, and thank you, Sheila.
Thanks, Anna. Thanks.
Cheers.
Janet,
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.